Hello VRay users, Alex here, your VRay guide, and welcome to the third webinar on the VRay Masterclass. We got some interesting stuff today. I'm going to show you. We got some nice works, and we got some advanced questionnaire. So let's get down to our business and start our third VRay Masterclass webinar. All right. I got some nice recap information from Karim. I think Alex Gomez. I think Alex had this question: how to add another working station for the rendering process. So let me just how do I zoom into this image? Here. If I'll just zoom into this image, while the installation, we can like choose full installation for VRay, or we can choose the render slave plugin. So basically this one goes only for slave. You will not be able to work. I mean, I thought you want to work with this VRay on your second computer, but since you're gonna install it on with this option, you will not be able to work. You will able to render, and as Karim telling here, no need to launch 3D Max or something. You just need to launch the VRay slave. You need to find it in your main computer. You need to find this this computer, and you need to if you're using distribute rendering, you need to define it in the distribute rendering option. But if you install it like only in the slave mode, you'll be able to use its CPU and to render it. So here's some info. After the webinar ends, I'll send this PDF, so you'll be able to read a little bit about this. Okay. Okay. So the next question is Karim is asking. Why use many other advanced users that I know are using brute force method for rendering, and not irradiance map with light cache, or light cache with irradiance map, or the photon maps? Okay. I'm using the irradiance map and light cache, but I'm using it for quick renders and for rendering previews as well. So when it comes to high-end visualizations, I use brute force, because brute force is produce more accurate results. Brute force algorithm based on direct method. It's without any shortcuts or any interpolation that irradiance map algorithm does. You got lots of like tweaking and everything. So this is not something you can find in brute force. Brute force is you got like samples and secondary bounds, and that's it. No tweaking, no nothing. So it's like pure calculation. The reason for the accuracy of GI is that it's been executed separately for every pixel, and independently on the other pixels, side pixels or whatever. So every pixel gets its own calculation. That's why it's so accurate. It does not take like 20 or 30 pixels and measure them together and try to calculate, or try to calculate glossy effects with faster algorithms or something like that. So yeah, this is basically the reason why it's so accurate and also slow. I mean, you need to pay for the accuracy, right? And you pay in rendering time. Okay. Yeah, so I prefer to use brute force for like really high-end stuff. No, for animation. Well, for animation, I rather use a irradiance map, because you cannot save in your RAM brute force. Every time you calculate your image, you need to calculate brute force. This is like the most biggest disadvantage of this rendering engine. I mean, you can, if you have a like a lot of RAM and everything, but the whole point is sometimes brute force produce like a little bit noisy results. So you will get this noisy, grainy. It's not flickering, because it's not actually flicker. But you will get this noisy, grainy feeling if you do animation, because every single frame will be calculated a little bit differently. I mean, you still will see it. I have like some. I think I have some results. I mean, my first animation I did with brute force and radiance map. I could save the radiance map, but I could not save the brute force. So for animations, like for fly-through animations, where the camera flies through the building or the interior, I prefer using radiance map and light cache. For static images, of course, I prefer to use, brute force. Like if the renders looks like, for example, Nuba and Rolf Bands, those images I did with brute force, and well, you can see the results. I mean, it looks pretty clean, pretty convincing, and pretty accurate. The JI looks pretty accurate. So yeah, I prefer brute force. I added someone here. Ian, how you doing? Here is the link for screen sharing. So press the link, see what we're doing here, and join us. All right. Great. How I choose the resolution? How I choose the resolution of what? Of the brute force. Oh, the resolution. You mean how I calculate the quality if I know it's not too much, right? Of samples or something like that, right? Well, I usually use like standard stuff. 1200 on 800 pixels. These are the previews most of the time, and well, I use like I don't know, 2000 and something to calculate. Well, it depends on your camera frame, right? If we do some brochures or something like that, so we make some previews, and then we don't need like to do standard. So in brochure, it comes with text, and sometimes you have some design or something like that. So you crop your images. So before rendering the whole image and working on it, what we're trying to do is we're trying to make some previews to build sort of a like storyboard, to build like a pilot, sort of a pilot for making this brochure. And after it's been approved, then we go and we render. Then we know how big the resolution is supposed to be. Regarding the parameters on the brute force, well, sometimes simple scenes require more. Sometimes there is like not enough light, so you gotta go higher with the samples in order to avoid those noisy, because noise and grainy effect comes basically when it's like not enough light in corners and stuff like that. So sometimes you just work your way, you just work your image. As you already know, every image got its own rendering settings. So I start from the basic, right? It's 15 samples in brute force. I don't use secondary bounce because the brute force I use it for as a primary bounce, so there is no secondary bounce. The secondary I use light cache most of the time, and well, yeah, I start from general settings. Global switches I put 1 on the whole materials, and then I go up. I put like 2, I put 3, and then global samples I just multiply, I mean double the samples or triple the samples. This is how I work it. This is the most easiest way. Instead of going and trying to work every material and adjust it, I just go in the global switches, global samples, and I double or I triple the amount, and that's it. This is basically the easiest and the fastest way if you have like really fast computer. I mean, i7 quad core. There's also quad 6 right now, so really cheap. With dual cores, yeah, you probably need to work every material. You need to like adjust and try to optimize every material, every scene aspect, because you might go into like 15-20 hours of rendering with brute force, and this is something you want to avoid. All right, so yeah, basically this is it. Yeah, what is the next question? No. No. I mean, it doesn't. It doesn't. I think it's no. Even if I work with a radiance map, light cache, 1K, 1000 or 2000. I mean, as soon as I like rendered preview was approved, I'll go like I'll set up like higher settings, and of course I'm going to double the resolution. I never saw any change, to tell you the truth. So the settings that I established for high resolution, for high-end like resolution images, I leave it as it is. Well, and tell you the truth, I don't like increase that much. You know, I don't do 4000. I do 4000, 4500 actually. This is like our standard, but I never did it with brute force. I mean, the brute force that I did were like 2000 or something, because after 2000 pixels and you know like 2500 pixels, brute force. If brute force needs to calculate 4000 pixels, it's like way too much. I mean, you can go like in 1 day of rendering or something if you don't have rendering farm. So yeah, I would not recommend you to use brute force on that high level of resolution. I mean, irradiance map works fine with that, but brute force it will take a lot. What I do actually, I render like 2500, and then I use that plugin. What was that name? Just a second, I'll tell you. I use like plugin to expand my. Oh yeah, Unifractals. I use Unifractals for increasing the resolution of my image. It got lots of like tweaking and stuff, so you can basically make big posters from like 2000, 3000, and it makes really good. It's not like Photoshop, when you just go and you make your image look bigger, and then when you print it, it looks all blurry, or you got some anti-aliasing, you see some pixelation. I mean, you see pixels and everything. It's not like that. This one works really fine. It got some nice methods. I love this plugin. It's called Unifractals. Maybe maybe I just put here links. So right here, plugin for Photoshop image enlargement. Okay, it's called, what is this? Genie. Yeah, here it is. Right? No. Genie fractals. Oh, here it is. Wow. This is the software, but where's the plugin? I mean, this is the company that makes this one-on-one software. Yeah, but somehow I cannot see it here. Well, this is the maybe I'll just put the name here. I'll just put the name and you'll search, because somehow I cannot find it right now. But this is the plugin. Okay, so I render on 2000 resolution, and oh yeah, you got it. So yeah, this is how I work. If I need like big poster or something for 1000 pixels, I just render 2500 with brute force. Well, if you render lower than 2500, then you might get like not that good results. But if you get results with 2500 and then you like expand it for, I mean, you double the size, that's it, you like got to go. Okay, this is actually sort of a trick, you know, just to save your also rendering time. You don't need to render in this big resolution. And plus adaptive stuff, AA. What do you mean by saying adaptive subdivision, anti-aliasing? I don't use anti-aliasing on irradiance map, because with irradiance map I actually render big resolutions, like you said, 4500 pixels, and then if I need, I add sharpen in Photoshop, but not to the 4500. This is like way too big to add sharpen. You will not see sharpen at all. If you make smaller size, you know, like 2000 or like 1200, then it's appropriate to add sharpen. And sharpen is same as working with anti-aliasing, as adding anti-aliasing filter. While working with brute force, I use sync filter. I use sync filter for the brute force. Yeah, because as I said, with brute force I don't render big resolutions. So this works like this: if you render a big resolution, 4500 pixels, and you use a radiance map, you don't need to activate anti-aliasing filter, because you will just waste of time. You just waste of rendering time. But if you render smaller resolution with brute force, then yeah, then just go ahead and add sync filter, because I think it's like one of the best that work with brute force. It do not produce any curve lines, you know, like silhouette lines, something that I show you, like I think on the first webinar, when someone rendered an image and then he got like black line on his background, and when he like added his sky, he saw that actually a black line going on the contour of the whole model, trees and building and everything. So yeah, this is like Catmull-Rom, Nitrevali, those anti-aliasing filters, they produce those lines. So yeah, I'm not. Okay, so the first question: can you use the plugin for After Effects? Which plugin? Oh, this Genie fractals. I don't know. I think it's work only for Photoshop. Yeah, I think it's Photoshop plugin. I never saw actually GUI fractals for After Effects. Yeah, maybe we'll make a search. Yeah, I think After Effects do not have that much options for enlarging or squeezing images or something like that. I mean, Photoshop got like bicubic and all those like different methods of matching pixels and everything, but GUI fractals work at its best. After Effects basically work with static frames. When you fix the frame for video or something like that, there's no need to enlarge it. So yeah. No, I'm talking about filter, talking about fix, adaptive, and QI. Well, it's QMC probably, yeah, QMC adaptive. Okay, yeah. Yeah. Let me just open the 3D Max here for a second, and I'll activate also the license here. Chaos group. And yeah, I mean, for tests, let me just open VRay here. For tests, for tests, adaptive subdivision could be the good choice, because you can go beyond. You can go like in minus, and if you use minimum rates, your subdivision, your adaptive subdivision, will adopt like 5 or 6 or 16. Sorry, it goes like 2, 4, 8, like 16 pixels together, and then it will try to make an adaptation and make a subdivision. All right, but for rendering, the adaptive DMC will be the choice, because it's actually do not go under. It's gonna do not go in minus. It cannot like take 3 or 4 pixels together. It goes only up. It starts as from like 1. I think it's 2 on 2. It's 4 pixels. This is 1 actually. It's 4 pixels together. This is 1 subdivision, and then 4. It's like 4 on 4. It's 16. So you can actually go higher with this one. This is like for high resolution. I will do some tutorial about this, those methods, and how to use it for previews and how to use it for high end. Yeah, you can use adaptive. I mean, I use DMC sampler, because I think it's got a higher quality. If, for example, if you got really clean scene, for examples, with straight walls and like lots of different curves and like glossy effects and everything. Yeah, so you can use the adaptive. You can use the adaptive subdivision, right? But if you got like really complicated scene with lots of stuff in it, so you rather use the DMC, because it's more accurate. I mean, for simple scenes and stuff like that, the adaptive will work fine. I hope I got your question right. Right? Okay, I'll expand it in some probably video tutorials, how to use this and what's the difference between them. Yeah, I mean, I always saw brute users using adaptive. Adaptive what? Adaptive subdivision or adaptive DMC? This is the filter that I use for brute force. Okay, so Karim writing another question. I'll go to his second. Pre-filter values in the light cache have incidence over using light cache for glossy rays. Okay, so we in light cache right here, light cache, we have the pre-filter. This is something that calculates before the light cache is being calculated. I mean, before it starts to render. And use lights for glossy rays. This option is only optimizes the glossy rays. Okay, so do the pre-filter value in the light cache have incidence over use light cache for glossy rays, over like this option? If this got the incidence over this. So I think so, because if you're not using enough samples on the light cache, here is the samples right here. If you don't use enough samples on the light cache, your GI will like will produce some artifacts, okay, and will look poorly. So if you activate this option, use glossy rays. Glossy rays is actually smooths and calculates faster the glossy rays with light cache method, right? So if you don't use enough samples, the glossy rays actually will look worse, because in order to make this glossy rays optimized with this option, you gotta have enough subdivisions. Okay, this is basically how it works. So the pre-filter refers to the light cache samples, also dependent on the sample size. This is the sample size. It's dependent. If it's like too big or too small, they got they relevant to each other. So mostly use smooth samples distribution with leads, which leads to loss of detail. So if you increase the pre-filter here, you put like 15 or 25, you will start to smooth your pixels distribution. I mean, you start to like smooth the transition between the pixels. Okay, so I'm usually not the fan of using this thing, because it just smooths my pixels. I mean, it increases it do not increase the quality. It's like it lowers the rendering time, because it goes faster, because it starts to smooth the pixels. It do not like calculate every pixel, but the whole point, while you start to smooth pixels, you start to lose detail. If you got like small nice details, you will start losing the shadows and the GI around this area. So it's like less accurate. It can be faster, but it's less accurate. And this one, use light for glossy rays, it's only refers to your glossy refractions, everything that glossy, blurry on your surface, everything that looks that got those glossy effects, those blurry effects, will be faster calculated with this option on. So I actually like to put here on. But remember, you need to have enough subdivisions in light cache calculation to make this work good. Oh, you never saw users using adaptive. So what they're using? They're using fixed amount right here. Well, fixed is just, it goes for and calculates every pixel. It will take, I don't know, forever to render your image. You gotta do some, you know, optimization by using adaptive, most of these, right? Yeah, adaptive QMC. Okay. Yeah, I mean, if you think logically, what you're saying is right, because adaptive QMC is already very, very heavy. Let's just put it on. is already very heavy calculation, because it do not go into minus, it do not optimizes your subdivision calculation. Okay, so it's kind of heavy, and if you're using brute force, which heavy as well, right, and do not have any like interpolations or like shortcuts that irradiance map provide. All right, so both of these guys like very heavy stuff, right? So yeah, I'm just saying that if you got a strong enough computer, yeah, exactly. QMC is what the brute force users use. All right, this is my point. This is two of them like really heavy, but if you got strong enough computer, you're gonna use it. As I said before, the adaptive subdivision is made for previews, because you can go into minus and you can optimize your subdivision calculation. You see here, you can go into minus 1. So I basically put here like, I don't know, minus 2 or minus, I don't know, 4 or something, and here I leave it on 2. So on the previews, on the like rendering process, if I want to like make it really fast, I use this one. All right, but when I set up my render, I got my preview approved and everything, and I want to render higher resolution, high-end visualization, right? I go into DMC. I put here 1, here I put 8. Sometimes I saw people putting 16, and it produces like really nice results. It's sort of a trick, right? And here I turn this off. This is the DMC sample threshold. When it this on, this one here's work together with this one, right? So it takes everything from here and put it here. But if this one off, this one can be like 1.0, and the threshold for only calculating the scene, I can put here like 0.2, for example. This is what I do. I turn this off, I put here 0.2, and my image sample being calculated. These are basically the settings that I use, right? Okay, let's move on. The last question during the last webinar, isn't that true that lowering noise threshold has more significant incidence with brute force method? Well, yeah, this is actually exactly what I was saying right now. You can lower here noise threshold, you can put 0.5, but the whole scene will get like we'll get this, right? Because here you actually got the control of your image sampling, so you can disconnect everything that refers to the image sampler. Will get 0.2, but you know, like the general noise threshold will be 0.5. Okay, so yeah, I mean, I think it's obvious that lowering, if you lower the noise threshold, you know, like here and here, you will get better results with brute force, right? You will, you know, if you use a radiance map, you will not get, I mean, you will get cleaner image, but just because the brute force works for every pixel independently from the other pixels, the brute force method work the same. I mean, the threshold method works the same way. The same way. The threshold just goes and it checks every pixel and it says, oh, if it's good subdivided or not. And as soon as you start to lower your threshold, you increase this noise. You can call it noise inspection or something like that, right? Because it actually goes and checks if your if you're rendering, if your pixels producing noisy result or not. Okay, so yeah, it's like putting I don't know, it's like taking two good stuff and putting them together and optimizing them at once. Yeah, exactly, that's what I said. If you got like clean big opening, clean with there's not much details and everything, it will go actually faster, right? But the subdivision, this one will go like really fast, but the subdivision, the DMC with lots of details will just work way more accurately on your image. Okay. All right, so let's go and see the next one. Paul. Hi Alex, I'm sending you render Scar Portal. I understood about Scar Portal mod. Yes, if you put sky portals, you need to have a sky in order to put enough particles, because sky portal, what they do, they transmit particles into your scene. They allow particle flow. So when you put VRay light on the particle flow mode, you will basically get nice particles into your scene. But if you don't do it, you will not get it, right? You will not have. I'll just press here continue. This is your scene, right? Where it is. This is your scene. Some files are missing, but it's not that important. Okay. And yeah, I sent you this scene yesterday, so you probably checked it out. So you know, if I'm here with the camera, this is your scene. I just open it. I need to activate the save frame in order to see what I'm doing. Oops, I need to activate here VRay as well. So let me just show you how the VRay is up and running. So let me just show you how I do my preview renderings. I enable brute force here, frame buffer. On the global switches, I turn on the filter map because I don't need to have this to have my maps filtered. You can turn off the anti-aliasing because you don't need it for your renderings. This one is okay. You can put maybe -2 or something. Color mapping, I put exponential. And I do the subpixel and I do the clumping out because I'm not rendering like high dynamic range image, you know, or OpenXR, so I can clamp out my colors because I'm gonna save it on PNG or JPEG, and it really doesn't matter. So here on gamma I put 2.2. I mean, it produced a little bit washed out results, like really really nice illuminated and everything, but it do not, I mean, it's very, as I said before, it's way easier to add contrast to your image than to remove it. So I like to have my image look like a little bit washed out in order to that I will have this control for adding more contrast. Okay, so I'll activate the irradiance map. As I told you before, I'm doing my previews with the irradiance map with low parameter. Here I put like 2020 is gonna be good enough. Light cache, right here I put, I don't know, 500, and I don't do any filters. You can turn this on the settings here. You can add a little bit more to your memory RAM, you know. I don't know, I use 700. I mean, if you got like 12 gigabyte or something. That's supposed to be good enough. Okay, and as for the camera, I want to check your camera here as well. This is default. I like to put here white before I start to do any renders. Well, yeah, I thought maybe I'll just make a render to see how it goes with your scene. Well, maybe I just leave it on the blue so you will see the results. And this I put to 100, and here is 800. So before I touch your camera, let's do some render and see what we got here, right? It renders a little bit slow. Oh, I forgot to add one thing. If you wanna, this is like important thing. Oh, I'm gonna add panels to our conversation. Just a second. Let me put the render and Panos. Okay, hey Panos, just here it is. Oops, sorry. I'll give you the screen sharing link right here. Thanks for joining us. Everybody came so late today. Here it is. Press on the link and join our screen sharing right here. So yeah, you see, this is how your scene being calculated, right? And we can see it's kind of dark. Okay, the render goes pretty fast, but we still got like really dark results. So I'm gonna cancel it and I'm gonna see what we've got here. I'm gonna give you some tips. So I'll press Alt W in order to expand. I'll press P in order to move to my perspective view, right? And I'm pressing Alt while moving, you know, so I can take the cursor and or take this hand. So if I'll press the middle button and I'll press Alt, I will do able to rotate the camera right here. I mean, being on the cursor, right? Alt and the roller on your mouse will give you that option. Okay, so I can see that your image kind of low resolution, and it's huge. It's supposed to like match your window, but it's like really big. So if we take the top view and we see a little bit, like analyze your room, you got here opening, and here you got 2 doors here, like 3 doors, and you got only those 3 small openings, and this one is closed. It's a wall. I never saw actually rooms like that, because this wall is supposed to have some window or something. If it's a big room, it's supposed to have a window, you know. So this is basically a very, very little amount of light to come into your room. So if we just take your see your last image, we don't see any light coming from the window here. We don't see sun shadows, right? Just because your sun is coming from this side, right? And when it's I'm just gonna stand on the position with sunlight. You see your curtains here blocking the sun. I mean, from this side the sun can go through, but if you like put it like this, you see it's all white here, so the sun cannot go through. So what I did, I just I selected and I pressed, just a second, I'm gonna move that panel here, and I pressed mirror. So I mirrored your those curtains, right? Okay, so I mirrored. So I'm gonna stand right now on the position of the sun, more or less, You see, now I can see through. Now my sun goes through. Okay, this is like one important thing. The second is, you know, all your lights gotta be lights portals. Oops. And they stand a little bit far away, so I would put them somewhere here, right? So this is not a sky portal. You gotta turn the sky portal on. This light is also supposed to be sky portal, and you can move it a little bit. I'll do it from the top view. I'll just press T and I'll move to the top view. You can put it somewhere like this. This one is also sky portal. This is already sky portal. Okay. If you're using these lights, also they can be also sky portals. Every opening, remember, gets a sky portal. You know, if you want this room to transmit also light, so you put here also sky portal. It can be really tough from sky to travel here and then travel into the room. So maybe you can just take this one and put it here. So the particles will just will be sucked in through the sky portal like this. Okay. So if I'll press render right now, I'll probably get even darker image because before there was lights, but now they are VRay sky portals. As you see, the image looks really dark, but we start to get here shadows from sun, right? So yeah, so in order to make this correct, I just went and I watched and I checked what you got in the environment. You got nothing in your environment. So no sky, no VRay sky, no particles going to your scene. You're gonna get very dark scene. So what I did, I just took the sun, deleted, and I added new sun like this. And you see, would you like to automatically add VRay sky? Yes, I want to add the sky. And of course, with the help of VRay sky, we're going to add some particles in our scene. This is plane number 1, so the sun stays a little bit behind this. You want to exclude this plane from your sun. You did it. I saw you did it with your sun, and it's totally good. All right. So right now, I'm gonna render your image. And all right, more people joining our screen sharing session. That's good. And as you see, the image looks a little bit dark, but it's going in the right way. Okay, so I'll just press cancel, and I'll go to my camera. I'll add show save frame. This is how you're supposed to render. And as I said before, I like to do a white balance here to neutralize it. Then you can pick it. Then you will know what kind of white balance you need to use. But this is what I like to do. And I like also to put in shutter speed 100. And here also 100, but you put 800 here, so it's okay. This is like the default state for me when I put 100 here. Okay, whoops, 100. Okay, so 8 of n number, 100 on the shutter speed, color balance white, and film ISO. Well, you put 800. It's probably the correct illumination for your scene, for interior. I mean, I had a few interiors where there were really closed spaces with almost no light at all, only artificial lights, you know, like no sun, no sky portals, no nothing. And then I think I needed to go really high with film ISO. I mean, ISO is basically what's gives your scene intensity, what makes your scene to look lighter, right? So I think I use like 1400 or 1600 ISO, something like that, and this was due to the closed place. I mean, if you don't have sky, or I mean VRay Sun, VRay Sky, and Sky portals to transmit particles into your scene, if you don't have that, that means that your scene will be very, very dark, and you will have to work your scene illumination and scene exposure with VRay camera. And the best choice is to put high values in ISO, yeah, in film speed. So don't be afraid like to go beyond 1200, 1400. You know, if it's like a closed place, like I don't know, shelter, I don't know, like a bunker or something like that. There is no light, no nothing. You get like two small spots. Well, I think you can work this out with ISO. Okay, let's see if there was a question. Bright multiplier under the color mapping pull down. Bright multiplier. Yeah, you can use bright multiplier in order to increase intensity. But you know, the whole point is when I'm working with VRay and color mapping, I like to put something as default, and this will give me a feeling of you know, like, what do I need to do next? And the next step for me personally is to work my lighting only with VRay camera. I can also work it with lights, but when you start to use also, when you add color mapping, it's like too many things, too many stuff to be concentrated on, you know. So you will not know exactly what you should like increase or decrease, you know. This is like one of the most common problems. I mean, we got like lots of students, and they start to add more bounces in the primary bounce engine, and then they start to add more values on the bright multi. And you know, that's what I'm saying. They try different stuff to increase lighting in the scene, but there is camera, very physical camera, and this can work perfectly to do the job. I mean, you can do everything with your very physical camera if you know how to use it properly. So my suggestion is like try to concentrate on working with VRay physical camera. Try also to work, you know, like with real digital, not the digital, like DSLR reflex camera, where you got shutter speed, film f number, shutter speed, ISO, and then you like start to work with your hands. You will start to feel and understand your actual values of the camera, how the stuff works. So for this point, try to leave the color mapping aside, also the primary bounces values. I mean, you can use them, but use them like in very, if you tried everything and camera and everything and nothing goes, then you can try them. But my suggestion is try to concentrate on improving your skills while working with very physical camera. Why not changing f number from 5.6 to 4? Yes, this is actually how I work when I set the camera. First of all, I try to find the correct f number for my scene, and this basically, you know, it goes with the groups of number. It goes 2.8, 2.8, 5.6, 8, 11, 13. Those are the groups that reflex camera works with, and this will bring you the exact and the correct calculation for VRay physical camera. After I found the number and it fits your scene exposure, but you need to do a little tweaking. Then for example, I want to add a little bit more light. Then I go to ISO and I add a little bit of an ISO, because with ISO you can go with like 120, 150. Your film speed is actually goes like 100, 200. Whoops, 200, right? It goes with 100 stops, but you know, I saw films that can do 120 and 150, like really special cameras. So with ISO you can go easily up and down, and likely it do not produce any noise. You know, if you work with your reflex camera and you put like lower values, you can get a lot of noise while working with ISO in your DSLR camera. But in VRay there is no noise, so don't be afraid to use different values. And if it's like really intense, you can work it with your shutter speed. Okay, so here is to your scene. We can see it's been illuminated correctly. We can see the light is coming from the windows, and we can see it's not like last time. We had here like yellow spots on this. Where is your image? I'm gonna show it. Here it is, right? So this is your image. This is so it's working all right, because I think like not the webinar, the previous one, when you sent, there was like yellow spots around this area, right? So basically this is a little bit dark. You can like go higher with your ISO amount here, and you can increase. You can also work your frame buffer. By the way, this one goes for Andreas. Andreas asked about those buttons, and I kind of skipped that last time. So referring to the frame buffer here, what we've got is like a mini Photoshop thing, you know, because we can adjust here everything we want, and we can save without even opening a Photoshop. Okay, so let me just quick go through those buttons here. Those are the channels that we've got here, and well, they're not that useful. This is the white alpha channels that if we have alpha, we will see it. These are the buttons for saving. This is like deleting, and this is, I think, cloning, and this is for areas. Okay. Anyways, this panel, what we've got here in VRay frame buffer is basically our render that went in our RAM, in our computer memory. So we got this image saved in our computer memory, right? And just because it's saved in our computer memory, and thanks to this VRay frame buffer, we got this image in a high range. Like we got really large pixel depth, and we can add or remove exposure, or add light, or correct curves, like do a little bit Photoshop post work in the 3D Max. And these are the buttons to do that job. Okay, so this first brings the panel. This one is color clamping. We can see here a little bit that we went beyond one. We like went more than white. So computer can show white, but my monitor cannot show something that goes beyond white. So this basically the button that indicates this white stuff, that when it goes beyond white. Okay, and here it is. You can like see it exactly. These are the information. If we click with the left button, we can see the numbers of colors and everything, like sort of an indicator, right? This one is use color curves. So if we have here curve, we can fix it, right? We can fix your image. We can add a little bit contrast here. We can add a little bit contrast like this, and we can add a little bit highlights like this, right? So if I activate or deactivate this button, this actually activates and deactivates this color correction curve. This one is exposure control. Exposure control is this one up. So if I close it, you see, if I deactivate it, we don't have any impact on the scene. But if I activate it, you know, we get the exposure. So I can always fix the exposure. You try always fix the exposure first. All right, and we have also here this is the button of colors levels. These are the levels here. So you can like put the colors range. So you see we get like more contrasted image. As I said, this is the okay, so this is more or less how you can work your scene. And like before you start, you open your Photoshop, you can make those corrections, make those small image adjustments right here. Okay, and the sRGB button is only works for the linear method, because we render here with exponential. of the reds, I think, here. So, you know, like doors and everything, but it looks nice. It looks nicer than it was before. I know it's not my render, it's your render, because it's not the light portals here and everything, and there's no sky. But yeah, I mean, this is like 5 minutes of work, something that you can do the same with your frame buffer. Okay. All right. Let's see what Karim sent us. Open file. Kind of taking it a little bit long. Okay. Yeah, we can see a nice water simulation here. What did you use? A reactor for making this water here, or well, it looks like 3D Max reactor, probably, or Glue It 3D. Oh, it's mesh deformation. Okay, so yeah, he did it with mesh deformation. I'm not sure that you can do all the sparkling and like to look like a real good fountain with mesh deformation, because you need to jump the particles when they hit the ground. They need to do the splash effect that you got here. I think it will be a little bit harder to do with mesh deformation. I'm talking about this, when they, like, you know, they dance. The water is actually dancing here and everything, and it detaches from its form. So particles will be the appropriate way to do. I did it actually with Reactor without any additional plugins. It was okay, but the best results probably you will get from Glue It 3D or something like that, plugin that actually made for water simulation. Or just go ahead and take those RPCs. All right. Okay. So for your question here, try to practice with DSLR camera. This is what I said before. This is what I'm saying right now. And while practicing in it, you will start to work with your white balance, because you will start to you will try to match each time white balance for your scene, right? So by doing that, you will get even deeper understanding of how white balance work with camera. This is what actually we do in Photoshop. We actually trying to correct the white balance, because how white balance work in DSLR, you put something white, you press in your camera measuring button, and you measure a temperature of the environment, because the environment is being reflected in this white. So you got those white plates. When you can like position your camera into this white plate, you press the measure button and you measure the temperature. And the temperature that hits this white plate and goes into your camera is actually representing the white balance of the environment. So this is what we're trying to do also in 3D Max. You can do it by placing a white ball, pure white ball, in your scene, in your middle scene. Try to do like a quick render, and with measuring right here, if we do, for example, put here white ball, we can try to do a quick render. Even when the render is not ended, you know, we can do it from the light cache. We can take this thing and we can measure the white. So from this ball, the white. So basically your scene got sort of a, you know, sort of a yellowish illumination. This is what we want to remove. So we want to put a little bit yellowish, a little bit like yellowish, something, I don't know, something like this, right? And then when you re-render, you will probably get the correct white balance. You will get more bluish sky coming inside from the sky, and you will kind of remove those yellowish things. Okay, so please find my images for correction. Okay, let's see what images you got here. I'm gonna stop the render because Last time it I don't know, it's dropped my my computer, but you can see already that we have more bluish tones here, and we like we kind of resolved this white because we got here more of a bluish bouncing from the sky, and we have here more of a bluish tones on the. So your image is supposed to be, I think, like 1000 ISO could work, or you can work it with your f number also. You can lower it down to get like a better image exposure for this matter. So yeah, you can work it on. Send me next time. I just gonna move on to the next question. Okay, I'm gonna close the 3D Max so it will not drop my computer, and let's see what we got here. Got 2 images. Okay, so this is funny. You send me this with blue background, and then you send me this one without the background. So either you send me your original image like this without background, or you send me this with some background so I can pick up and isolate it from here, because right now I cannot really use it, you know. And I can try at least. If I'll put here maybe white. Like this, and then I'll flatten, I'll put it here, close it, select similar, invert, inverse, and then I'll put here a mask from the selection. Okay. All right. Panos. Okay, I'll save. Oh, I need to make a folder. Okay, I put it here. Okay, well, the file's been transferred. You can see the isolation didn't went well because we got some blue here or whatever, but it will not stop us from making this image. Okay, so I'll go to some sky here, and I'll take I don't know, take this one for example. This is a nice Stas took those pictures while he was in Turkey, I think, and those are nice pictures. We can use them all we want. We need to expand a little bit, so while you're doing this, try to when you enlarge your image, try to not go try to do it minimum as you can, because we got here that part, so try to enlarge as minimum as you can. Okay, so now you need to find like horizontal line. So something like this could work fine. So more or less the horizontal line, maybe a little bit lower, but you know, we got too much of a sky, so we want to make, and we don't get much of those ships here, so maybe something like this. You know, we're trying to find this combination of showing the correct visualization and showing it like in beautiful way, like representing, trying to sell, because we actually trying to help the marketers and the advertisement agencies to sell their stuff, the architect to sell his stuff. So we gotta make this balance between beautiful and correct. Okay, so if it looks more beautiful but less correct, so you should go with the beautiful. Also depends on the mission, you know, if you're like making for sales or you're making for like assistance. It's also like two different things. Assistance supposed to be more accurate. Okay, anyways, oh, okay, Hey Panos, don't worry about it, man. I'm recording the webinar, so you'll be able to review it in your free time. I'll upload it like at the end. Okay, so the first thing that we can do, as I said, we want to correct a little bit our background if we bring it to the here. So a little bit curves, I think, could add to this visualization, to the background, like not much, just a little bit. Exposure, can try if the exposure is not right, so something like this, right? Okay, maybe a little bit more contrast. Okay, and it looks way better. Maybe it's too saturated, so we can like reduce a little bit on the blues, reduce a little bit of saturation, and on the cyans reduce a little bit of cyans saturation. Okay, something like this. All right, now the next thing is you want to match your foreground to have the same exposure control as your background. So the first thing that you can do is try to match your exposure, you know, something like this. Okay, and the curves, you can try to fix the curves. Okay, then you go and you try to fix your color balance, contrast, if there is not enough contrast, something like this. Always try to use the preview option and see if it's like good or bad and how it reflects your image. Okay, yeah, the next thing is color balance. If you wanna, you can like add a little bit, maybe yellowish and reddish. No, it's not, it doesn't work. I mean, we got a lot of yellow there, so maybe just to add a little bit bluish on the midtones, because yellow we got enough. And we can add blue on the highlights, something like this. Yeah, this is a little bit difficult to do, to match. I'm always trying to look at the background and to see if this matches correctly the foreground. Always go with your eye back and forth, you know, see how it was. So basically it was like that, you know, and now it matches the sky, the exposure, the everything, the environment. And as you see, we got very saturated grass here. Excuse me. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply the layer mask. Oops. Apply the layer mask, and I'm going to duplicate this layer. I'm gonna go into the filters, the hue saturation, and I'm going to reduce the greens a little bit, saturation. So I'm just trying to look at this plant here and ignore the whole thing, because this plant is the most who got the incorrect very high saturation. So I'm gonna fix him first. I'm gonna press OK. I'm gonna make a selection, add a mask, and as you see here, I fixed this plant here. Okay, if I want, I can also like select a big round brush, and with sort of a whites, like to do some spots that the grass will not look like uniformly, you know, sort of like this. And with whites we can like recap that a little bit again, something like that. Okay, so you see here we got a little bit on the grass and we got fixed display. We can merge that and duplicate it again, and for example we can try to fix this palm here. So I'm gonna do the selection here of this palm. I'm gonna press Ctrl J and I'm gonna like duplicate it, copy it by creating another layer, and by going image adjustment hue saturation, I can go on the saturation here on the greens. I can lower the greens. I can even change the greens here, you know, see? So this palm will get a little bit more of yellowish look. I can see the shadows very strong, so I can go into shadow highlight and bam, see, I can bring the shadows back. So it's like sort of another trick, because it looks like very dark, something really dark, something like really high contrasted and dark going on there. So I can recap that by reducing the shadows contrast here. You can also use the brightness contrast if you want to reduce contrast inside, but the shadow highlights does that effect. It's best. Okay, something like this. Okay, so it looks a little bit better. If the highlights like really high intense, you can see that I'm double clicking on the channel and I'm moving this white by pressing Alt. I can like disseparate this panel, and as you see, if I'm moving here left to right, take a look here, I'm like removing the highlights, the high exposed lights from this, so my palm will look more natural and not those high exposed lights. Okay, so this is like another trick. Okay, you can like maybe you can mesh those layers down, duplicate it again, and maybe just for the grass, just for the greens, you can move it a little bit to the left. Well, not too much, but something like this. So this one will get natural color, and we'll try to isolate it here as well. You see, it's got some sort of a green, but now it's like more yellowish and more. I mean, it's nice to view it. It's more pleasant for an eye to watch, and you can like correct maybe the mask a little bit more with this tool. Merge it again, duplicate it one more time, and I want to just fix the grass a little bit, the color of the grass. So I'll give it a little bit yellowish and reduce a little bit saturation, something like that. I'll press preview, so you see how grass changes from being very green and saturated into more yellowish and more something that looks a little bit looks more natural. I'm gonna add a mask, and I'm going to remove that from the buildings, because buildings lost their green, and maybe like to put some dots, something like this. Okay, all right, I'm gonna merge that down. Now I think the visualization looks nicer, the colors looks natural, and the exposure more or less past the background. Maybe the background is a little bit saturated, so I'll just, on the cyan, I'll move a little bit less, and the blues I'll reduce the saturation, something like that, something like this, so it will not be that saturated. Okay, if you did a little too much, Control Shift F, you can bring your fadeaway panel. You can control the last action here, something like that. I'm gonna merge this image. I'm gonna merge it down, and now I come to your first question, where you ask how to mix the background. So this is what I do. I add diffuse glow, like be sure that your background is white, because you're gonna add white to your image. And this sort of light wrapping effect that you were asking. And here you can control its appearance, something like that. You can like really exaggerate it, but you need to think that after applying this effect, you will reduce its appearance to 30%. So try to find the best combination that it will look like natural to your image. Something like this will be fine. And apply it. Then press Ctrl Shift F, bring the fade panel, and reduce this effect about 30%, something like this. maybe it's too much. 32, something like that. So this is how it was before. This is how it now. You can see everything got nice light, feeling that light is really coming to your scene. And actually the background mix better, all the lights and the palms and the sky starts to mix way better with your image. So this is like very exact, where you can see the shapes, the shadows and everything, but this is like very accurate for the light to come into your scene. Okay, so this is like one trick. You can also paint the light if you want. You just add a layer, you take the brush and you paint it, for example, with like white. Then you switch it to soft light mode, right? And something like that will mix better the background with your foreground. Okay, you see that? It's like gives you like nice and smooth mix. These basically two methods that are really easy to use. I use them a lot. One is glow effect, the second one is light painting, and you can also like paint the light here if you want, the sun. I showed it I think one time, but I think it will be like too much for this image. This is okay. I'm gonna save this image and I'm going to send it to you. Fix. Okay. Right, and this is how we do it. Let's move on to the next question. I think there was like show in folder. Someone sent me images, but somehow I don't see them. TIFF2? What is this? Oh, okay. Yeah, sometimes you can fix that as well. If we just we can see that the shadows bold, the shadows goes here. You can never match perfectly your image shadows. I mean, you can try if you got a big library, but I think it looks good. And just what I said before, you need to find this combination between looking correct and beautiful. So if you wanna sell it, I mean, this looks this is supposed to look beautiful, so go on the beauty effect. Okay. All right. The files were transferred, but I cannot And the flowing water, what I mean flowing, the fontaines, use RPC, man. RPC is a way quicker way to use. I was like talking half hour, I don't know where you've been, man. You can do it with fluid, with reactor, or just take RPC and everything will be cool. All right, great. Well, I'm trying to see those images, but I don't know where they are. Oh, okay. This is the teeth. I see. Okay. All right. I gotcha. This is the teeth. Okay, so now we're coming to the Panayotis. I send you the following. Send me a lot of images. I'm gonna through them. Some of my images are in JPEG, some of them TIFFs. I don't know the saving tricks yet. Can you improve them? Well, I can try to improve them. Let's just go through the images that you did here and try to improve them. So this is JPEG, this is TIFF, right? No, this is JPEG as well. Just a second, I need to switch view. Okay, these are two TIFFs. So let's open the TIFFs. Okay, this is a really nice image. I like the design and everything. Is it big? Yeah, it's big enough. Very good. The texture is nice. There is a background missing in this. I mean, nice sky could add a lot to your image. The wood, the yellow of the wood is a little bit saturated. You might want to put some nice stuff here on the table, but let's just fix your color balance first. So as I said, I add a little bit yellow, a little bit red, just, you know, to add more saturation to your scene. And I'm trying to get this to look more yellow, more white, because right now, as I see here, it's kind of yellow. And this yellow, everything gets kind of yellow. But if I correct this, you see, my image gets more white walls and everything, and been getting like more white balance, getting more of a white balance. Correct white balance. Okay, so this is how it was before, this is how it now, and maybe I'll fix a little bit exposure, but because it looks kind of dark on my monitor. I don't know if your monitor is calibrated, but something like this could be better. Well, I can try to fix some curves, something like this. Okay. Yeah, this looks better. And well, the saturation of the yellows is a little bit exaggerated, so I'm gonna go on the hue saturation yellow, and I'm gonna lower the yellow saturation, so we get more natural wood color. Okay, maybe this one a little bit too much. I can do it locally, by the way. If I'll take the sponge tool and I go over your model here like this, we can reduce the saturation as well. Okay, and you can, with opacity, you can fix it, bring it back if it's like you did too much. Okay, so yeah, nice design, man. I really like it. It's a little bit empty, you know, the table and the couch. This couch got kind of weird texture going on. I don't know what that is, but I think you can improve it a little bit. You don't have any baseboard here. I mean, I saw like those minimalistic houses without any baseboards, but you know, it's like, you know, if you're going on a standard, you might want to pay like maybe really thin baseboard going on here. It's just small detail that adds accuracy to your floor. Okay. What else can you make? You can paint some light maybe coming from the window, but we don't see much of a light coming here. But it could be nice. I think I showed this method once. For example, let me just try and show it to you one more time. Something like this. Okay. You need for that, you need to have yellow, maybe like kind of white, almost yellow white, and the second color you need to have more yellow, something like this. And you're gonna paint it. I'm gonna paint this. We're gonna do gradient here, right like this. And after doing that, we want to add a mask. Reveal all, layer mask reveal all. We're gonna add mask to the channel. You see here we got new channel with a mask, and we're gonna add clouds effect to the mask. Where is that? Clouds. So we got here sort of clouds, and we want to add some noise also. Filter noise, add noise, something like that. Yeah. Okay. And we want to make this noise like lines. So it's a nice trick. So what is this blur? Blur, we're gonna make motion blur, right? Motion blur. Okay. And you want to fix the direction of your blur, so your lights will be coming from the window, something like this. Okay, you want to apply this mask, so it's good. Control D to deselect, and you want to add another mask now, and to fix those hard lines. And we want to remove it from chair. Gotta work like really accurate here. Something like this. And just lower a little bit. I'm pressing shift and I'm going on a straight line by painting those. Oops. Okay, so yeah, this looks nice. We got some nice light coming from the window, and the last thing you want to do is to reduce its opacity to about 30 or 20 or something like that. So this is without, this is with. I think it adds like a light feeling to your image. You know, like light coming through the window. It's a nice trick. It's a small thing, but it's something that, you know, that adds those 10% to your visualization. So yeah, this is how you can improve your image. I'm gonna measure it down, and I'm gonna save it, and I'm going to send it to you. Fix. Okay. Here's the same thing. You want to correct your color balance, right? More blue, something like that. So click before, after. You see how much blue light we get from the window, from the sky and everything, and this is kind of yellowish. So yeah, we got you can add more yellow if you want, you know, and red here. You can also I'll cancel this. You can like duplicate it if you want to have the yellow here and only the blue inserting going through your window. So you can like do the color balance, add more yellows, add more reds, add more blues, add more cyan. Now try to fix it, try to get it look correctly. Okay, and then after doing that you can add a mask. Whoops. You can add a mask and you can remove this, something like that. See? So you get your environment still get yellowish color, right? But you got correct bluish color inserting your room. Okay, something like that. And the same thing here, you know, it looks cool, but it looks empty. So I would just add some details to your image. Sorry for painting but on your image, but some apples could be nice here, just to lie him, you know, like do it minimalistically, you know. Maybe some like newspaper here or something, and I don't know, maybe some stuff here, like maybe flowers or something, I don't know. Just to bring a little bit more life to your image. I know you like minimalistic stuff, but those small things, those small details, this is what actually adds more feeling to your visualizations. Yeah, here same thing with yellow. You want to reduce your yellow a little bit, you know, you can like something like this. So you see it's like very saturated. So about that. If it's too much, again, Control Shift F, and you can get the correct wood color for your levels. Okay, I'm gonna save this and I'm going to send it to you after the webinar as well. Okay, all right. What we got here else? We got lots of images from you. Yeah, those are the big ones, they cool. So yeah, by the way, look, this was your first image and this is how we made it. We got a nice light coming through the window. Those images JPEGs, they're really nice. Here same, before, after. I got correct blue light inserting your room. Those images a little bit too dark, you wanna fix them as well. I showed you already how can you fix the exposure and everything. The design's nice. I'm not gonna do every image, but I like this image a lot. I think you did a really good job. Only the thing, it's like a little bit too dark and the color balance is a little bit yellowish. So fix that and you will have really nice images for your portfolio. This is also a nice image. All right. So maybe like a shoe here or something, you know, to balance your scene. Okay. Great. Let's move to your next question. How can I set VRay up in order to obtain cleaner images? Well, it looks like you're using a radiance map and light cache. So in the radiance map, to get smoother results, you gotta go higher with hemispheric spheres. Excuse me. Hemispheric subdivisions that actually smooths the GI artifacts. So if you got like sort of dirt cycles on your walls or something like that, this will provide you like a cleaner result. This will like smooth your particles, your samples, right? So go like with groups of 25 you know, on the hemispheric subdivisions, and interpolation samples go higher with 50-50 or 100-100. Basically I found that those kind of groups that goes really good together. Yeah, so sometimes if you get artifacts, try to smooth your GI, try to smooth your samples by increasing the hemispheric subdivisions. Okay, and yeah, this is basically you're supposed to get cleaner results. You will please show doof tricks in Photoshop. Well, yeah, tell you the truth, there is like not much of a tricks for doof. I did a nice video here on working with the Z depth in Photoshop, and you can watch it. There's like nice tips how to use Z depth math in order to create doof effect. I just prefer to do a doof effect with VRay, because doof effect with VRay is something that produces more natural results with your VRay camera. So basically we'll get longer rendering times, but you will get better results. I mean, you can do good doof tricks. There are different plugins for doing that in After Effects and everything, but you're asking for Photoshop, and in Photoshop you got like only this option here with Z depth pass. It's actually what gives you this depth, right? Someone sending me here some messages. Alex, I got to go, sorry. Alright, don't worry about that, Paul. I'll record the webinar and I'll send it to you later, okay? So to that matter here, although I prefer I prefer to use VRay camera because it produces better doof results. Okay, looks really cool. On the other hand, you got different plugins for that can do better stuff. One of them is Doof Pro. You can check this plugin. This plugin got really nice results, really nice options and functions and everything. Got, you see, chromatic aberration, and it's got like photometric burnouts, like these, you know, and it's pretty easy to use. So you can try it. I think it's like free for a couple of, so like testing mode or something like that, if you find it useful. I actually prefer to use Lux Builder, because for me it works the best. Not the Photoshop and not this Doof Pro plugin. I like to use Lux Builder for that. There is a video in my Photoshop post work for how to use that. So yeah, I think you got my Photoshop post training, post work instruction. So in their manual there's a video for how to make color correction with Lux Builder. So go ahead and watch it and send me your comments and questions if you have any regarding that video. So regarding your questions, there is basically from one hand there is no tips and tricks for making doof, because it's something that does only one thing. From the other hand, there is a lot of small things that you can do while creating and trying to replicate this doof effect. So for every image there will be something different, something else that you can do in order to blur your background or to blur your foreground. Basically I'm explaining everything in this tutorial that I showed you right now. This one here, I'm giving like basic stuff. If you want me, I can if you want me to give you like specific advice, you just send me your image. I go through your image and I will give you exactly answer for how to make this or that, because for working with doof there is no there is no like general tips and tricks. You know, you can do the doofs more, you can do it less. The only tip I can give you is try to make it look natural and have a reference that you can rely on, and to see if it's something that good or not. I mean, if it's something works exactly like the doof supposed to work or not. You know, like working with references is a very important thing. Another tip that we discussed earlier in this webinar is to work with real camera. So you will start developing your eye vision to the natural colors and to the natural depth of field feeling. So you will not have to use like references. You might stuck somewhere, you know, you get a new job, you get a new place, there's like no references, no time, you have to produce doof really quickly, you got like 30 minutes, do it. Sort of a stressy situation. So in that situation you just have to rely on your brain library, those your experience and your eye ability to recreate the doof effect. So the tip is try to work with real hands, with real world, with real instruments like DSLR, reflex camera, and get a feeling of how it really works. Because as I said, for every doof, for every situation, there is a different thing to apply. You gotta rely on your eye vision or your experience. Okay, so if you want, send me your image. I will refer the tricks to that particular image, because it's kind of hard, you know, to tell the general stuff without seeing the actual problem. Okay. All right, great. Well, the last thing is I wasn't aware that the VRay guide cost only 25 euros. Yes, it was. It was a one-time offer. We did it during the Christmas. I just wanted to share with everybody, those who couldn't get it on time. I mean, those who wanted could buy it on the spot when it was released, but those who didn't had to wait like half a year or something like that till we decided to give the copy for sort of a gift for Christmas time. Okay, great. Oh, this is it, I guess. We finished everything here, guys. I'm gonna save this file right here, and I'm actually working right now on VRay Interior workshop. It's going to be like 12 videos, I think maybe 15 videos on the Nuba project, because people like saying, oh, how you did this, how you did that, and the making of is explaining stuff but not really showing stuff, so they wanted to have everything on video. So I said, okay, I'm gonna make some videos. So this is what I'm doing now. I'm creating like, I think 15 videos of how import DVDs, how to set up your VRay as default. Every time that you will open 3D Max, you will have VRay as default. Building walls really quickly, all that stuff on making previews, rendering high resolution, everything basically we discussed today. I'm going to make in short tutorials and it's gonna be called VRay Interior Workshop, and it's gonna be out probably in February. Like, I need another 2 weeks. I'm already working on it like a long time, so I hope in February I will release that workshop. And of course I'm gonna give support and everything, so I'll make sure that everything is clear. Yeah, and the next one will be the exterior. I know, like lots of people were like, oh, we need exterior. I'm doing my best, and the next one will be probably exterior, and I want to do some workshop on creating HDRIs, to show people how to create HDRI and stuff like that. It was always an interesting project, and I'm waiting for my camera actually to arrive. I bought a new camera, D300S from Nikon. It's with like one of the most awesome cameras. No, just kidding. It's a really good camera, and I got some wide lens to shoot HDRI. Here in California we got some nice sky, so probably I'll do some quick workshop on making HDRI. And yeah, we got some professional here. Karim is he did lots of HDRIs, and he got like lots of tips and tricks probably to share with us regarding this subject. So yeah, I'll be glad if you will join me on that training creation and everything. And yeah, the future looks good. The future looks bright, and we got a lot of things to share, to teach, to learn. Me as well. I never stop learning. I always read books. I always read stuff on the internet and everything. Always try to stay top on the new things, new features out to come and everything. It's really hard to being updated like everywhere. But yeah, this is what we gotta do as a professionals. Okay. Yeah, Karim, last words. Image sampler. I went once again against my man. Adaptive subdivision is paid for large surface with no details. In scenes with much details, like exteriors with trees, displacements, adaptive subdivision is lower than DMC adaptive. Okay. Yes. DMC, as I said, really heavy stuff, right? So yeah, sometimes it can reproduce bad quality as well. So we already discussed that. Topic. Adaptive with like big scenes, large surfaces and everything. Adaptive, more heavy stuff, accurate details and everything. So yeah, definitely. All right. Okay, great, guys. I think we're done here. If you got any questions, go ahead and ask me. And yeah, if not, it's gonna be an awesome weekend for us. I hope. I pray that everybody will get like I don't know, a lot of sunshine and well, if not sunshine, then at least like a good mood, because in Europe I know it's like snowing and everything, and you can compare to this what we got here. We got almost summer here. It's like 20 degrees or something, 23 I think today. So it's a good day to go and yeah, to make some I don't know, maybe to travel or something, It could be really nice. So yeah, I wish you all an awesome weekend. Like, go ahead, rest, recharge your batteries. It's like very important thing if you work hard during the week. Try to forget everything, and clear your mind, get some good energy, get some good mood, rest, recharge your batteries. And yeah, we'll meet you probably next week. Send me your works during this week. I'll try to answer during this week. and to go more into detail in the webinar, in the live webinar last week that you're gonna do. And come on time, because we started today, like, you know, people were from the Roo area here at 11 o'clock. I was here also and said, hey man, there's like only one student. I said, oh my god, what are we gonna do, a private conversation here? So yeah, guys, yeah, come on time. Don't be rude to your classmates. Okay, great. So yeah, I wish you a great weekend. Go ahead, have some fun, join the nature, see some videos. We'll get you some nice inspirations. Get those inspirations as much as you can. I hope you enjoyed this webinar, and yeah, I see you probably next week. All right, so have a good time, party hard, or rest. I wish you all good.